you've learned. I said, what happened? I got the best coach. I'm following the right diet. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I've been doing this for 16 years. I'm doing everything right. How did this happen to me? And he says, Wade, you've learned to build the body from the outside in, not the inside out. So even though that I was a master in training technology, I was well educated in physiology. I had a wealth of experience. I had all these top clients. I had everything that you're supposed to be and represent externally in the world. I had something going on inside my body that happens to just about everybody in the modern world. And I'll talk about why that is in a minute. And that is my digestive system had become dysfunctional from the pathway of performance that I had followed. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I'm like, wow, a lot of people could get into a lot of trouble here. I've got a lot of people kind of following me. So we started a company in the bodybuilding world, dealing with bodybuilding. And I was able to recover. I was able to recover within 6 months. I got my energy back. I got my health back. I got my physique back, and I felt better and could do better than ever before. We built this company. We started educating people first in the bodybuilding world. I opened up a holistic health clinic, and it turned out that there was all these things that we could solve that I was trying to fix my own problems. Well, they translated to fixing problems that everybody else was having: gas and bloating and digestive issues and acid reflux and low energy and brain fog, and all these things actually had nothing to do with the exercise program or the nutrition programs per se. It happened they had a faulty digestive system. So we went along with that business for 3-4 years, and it's like, wait a second, we're actually fixing people's digestion, because that's the foundation for everything else, because it's a single canal from your mouth to your anus. And we kind of assume that everything you eat just gets converted into energy units or building blocks. But the reality is there is a distinct chemical process that involves a variety of things, including enzymes and hydrochloric acid and probiotics. And our modern food system creates disbalances in these things, which lead to a host of issues, which, starts off with, oh, my skin's not good, or I have brain fog, or I have bad breath in the morning, or I'm feeling bloated after this meal, or I can't seem to lose this weight, to later on becoming more serious medical conditions that open up the door to a host of problems. And I was like, wow, you know what? Almost nobody knows this. And if someone like me, who's studied this my whole life, can make that mistake, where does that leave the average person? They don't know, and there's no way for them to know. And so I made it my mission in life to help educate people. And my business partner, Matt, who's in online marketing stuff, said, okay, Wade, you do the talking and I'll do the spreading the message. And we work together, and we've been doing that for the last 15 years. And it's just been awesome. And we've been able to impact a lot of people and make a difference, and, take people from hopelessness to empowered, and recognizing that you can solve almost any challenge with your life. But when it comes to your health, when it comes to your vitality, getting your digestion fixed is number one, because that's how we get the energy. That's how we get the units to rebuild our bodies.
So run me through, why is digestion so important why was it so important for you? Like, maybe you're taking in 85 grams of protein and somebody else is bodybuilding and taking in 220 grams of protein. How did that all work out to help you?
Well, it was a journey. So keep in mind, so I'll kind of break this down. So most people in the performance world follow what I call a performance-based diet. That's 1 gram per pound of body weight is what you'll hear, thrown around in all the fitness and performance things. Yeah. Like if you're 200 pounds, you need 200 grams of protein, and some guys will go up a higher. Now, the advantage of having a high protein diet is that, number one, satiety. Protein takes a lot of energy to digest, and you feel full, and that's very helpful if you're in a caloric restricted environment. The second thing about protein, it's very hard to break down metabolically. And because of that, there's an increase in metabolic activity, and that can also be advantageous, particularly if you're trying to lose weight. And athletes in the fitness and bodybuilding world are constantly in these conditions of diet. And so,
oh yeah.
so the advantages are the satiety and the energy consumed. The disadvantages is that you are exhausting the workers in your body, the probiotics and the enzymes in your body. You're putting excessive demands outside of the normal parameters of ordinary people. Ordinary people do not need to eat 200 grams of protein a day, right? If you go to the Surgeon General, recommend somewhere between maybe 50 to 75 grams. Now, most athletes will tell you, well, when I increase my protein, I noticed an improvement in performance and improvement recovering. That's true. But the thing is they don't understand is that they're eating 200 grams, but maybe they're only digesting actually 80 or 90. So what happened is once I was able to rebuild my digestive system from, following what I call a performance-based diet and going into what I call a health or optimal health diet, I was able to get better results out of eating 75, 85 grams of protein a day than I was when I was back doing 250 grams, because I was literally absorbing, digesting, and utilizing every single gram, because it's not the protein you need. You actually need the amino acids, and you got to convert that protein into amino acids, and that's what's going to create the recovery. That's what's going to build the neurotransmitters to make your brain work properly, make you feel happy. And that is the process that was kind of glossed over in all my nutrition training, all my exercise physiology training, all my health practices. And thank God I ran into that problem, because that led me to discovering these kind of principles.
How can it be adverse for somebody that is taking in the 220 grams of protein and they aren't digesting it well?
Yeah. So what typically happens is this, and this will happen also if you're taking in rancid fats, like a lot of fried foods or cooked oils, or what I would call refined carbohydrates, depending on enzymatic pathways. And I won't go too deep into that, but basically you have what's called enzymes, and enzymes are the difference between the living and the dead. The difference between stones, plants, and people is enzymes. And enzymes are responsible for over 25,000 chemical reactions inside the body that they know of, and probably a lot more. And they result in everything from thinking to blinking. And the reason that we're able to perform so many functions is because the enzymatic potential of that person, which is a limited component when you're born. You have so many enzymes, and your body has to manufacturing it, and it'll convert smooth muscle and muscle tissue into enzymes if you're deficient in order to run all these chemical processes. And one of the reasons why people have a harder time gaining muscle or getting in shape as they get older is the enzymatic capacity of that person begins depleted over, because humans are the only species on the planet that eats cooked food. Every other, and when you cook your food, you destroy the enzymes, anything over 114 degrees. So we learned a nutrition model that was based on carbohydrates, proteins, fats, your macros, and then maybe some minerals and vitamins, and then your trace elements and things like that. And now it's kind of into ketones. But at the end of the day, it never talked about how you actually convert those. And if I'm a tiger eating a zebra, I knock down the zebra, I eat the entrails where the enzymes and probiotics are there, then I eat the animal. If I'm a bear, I'll eat a salmon or I'll eat a blueberry in a raw state and get the enzymes along with the nutrients. If I'm a horse or a cow, I'm going to eat the enzymatically rich living grass that's full of this life potential. And so I'm not just getting the nutrients. Conversely, a human, as we cook our food, I always say, think of Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner. You go and have the big turkey, you have another one, you have all your potatoes and fixings and your stuffing and extra gravy. And then after a couple servings, you have grandma's apple pie or whatever. And then what happens? You've just eaten enough to run a marathon. But are you feeling like running a marathon? No, everybody's making a short sprint to the living room where someone's diving on the couch, someone's laying on the floor, someone's Uncle Louie's passed out in the chair, drooling down their face. Well, what happened? When you got all this energy and all these building blocks, you think you should be able to just go quickly. But the reality is there was no enzymes in the food. So your body has to take all the enzymes of every single chemical reaction you're running your body, direct it all to your stomach. And it's like, you know what? We don't need to be awake right now. We don't need to do anything else. And so this fundamental misunderstanding or not taking that into accountable was the problem for my issue. And it's the problem for so many people in America right now. 12% of the emergency hospital visits today, emergency hospital visits, are related to gastrointestinal issues. 95 million Americans today are suffering from some form of digestive issue on any given day. And about 20 to 25% of the population is on prescription medication for some sort of digestive or condition with that whole digestive system.